Welcome to the Better Two podcast. I'm your host, Donna. Today's guest is the band Me, and we have three members of Me. We have Mark O'Connell, who is the drummer. We have Eddie Reyes, who is the guitarist, and Mike Jensen, who is the lead singer. We talk about their latest release, which drops today, called All the Good Things, and it has very much that 90s vibe that when you listen to it, you are transported back in time. We talk about that. We talk about lots of different things, including, well, Eddie mentioned the word fart, and that derailed the conversation for a little bit, but it was fun. So tune in. I have a laundry list of people. Hello, guys. Hello, Edward, Mark, and Mike.
Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Hi, Mike. Hi.
How are you guys doing today?
Great. Good.
This is not the norm. Rarely do we have a whole band, and I know we're missing one member, but I'm going to allow you guys to introduce yourself. We're going to start off with Mark. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do in the band, and go from there.
I'm Mark O'Connell, and I play drums for Me.
And
Yeah.
Edward.
Hi, my name is Edward Reyes. I'm a handsome Colombian man from New York. I'm in this wonderful band called Me, who has a new album coming out called All Good Things. And I'm here hanging out with you, and we're going to have a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Mike.
Hey, I'm Mike. I sing for the band Me, and we all live in different cities. I don't know where we want to start. Yeah, I'm in Chicago. Mark's in Long Island. Eddie's in Sandusky. And yeah, these two guys started writing great music together, and I get to sing over it and create something really, really beautiful, together.
And what's interesting is, 20 years, 30 years ago, you might not have had the opportunity to be able to do this, to collaborate and be so far apart.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you could send tapes, but then it would take a while to get there, unless you're doing overnight. So it's a different way to collaborate now with technology. Do you find it easier for you to be able to have inspiration at the get? I mean, if you suddenly have an idea to call the other one and say, okay, let's do this, is it a much easier time for you now? Or do you have to still go, well, give me a little bit of time?
I don't think we're at the point where we're using the technology to do that yet. I think we'll get there, but in the sense of now, they wrote ideas in the studio, and I was able to demo them out at home and make it sound decent enough to get the idea across. That part of the technology and abilities is great, because 20, 30 years ago, it was a lot harder to do that at home and do a bedroom demo of something and it not sound like a bedroom demo.
Unless you were Tone Loc.
Right. And I'm working with what I have and I'm not trained. So.
But
yeah.
here,
Mike,
Did Tone Loc do that?
he recorded Wild Thing in the closet. That was the rumor back in the day, that he had recorded it in the closet.
I heard that was true, actually, that he recorded it in the closet.
So, but I mean, was it really that hard of a composition all put together? Really, honestly? Wild Thing was pretty much straightforward.
It was a pretty simple but pretty genius composition.
Yes. And I mean, going back to you demoing everything, because I read the bio.
Tone Loc was also in Ace Ventura. Let's not forget that. Before we go off Tone Loc.
Tone Loc.
Cool.
You played a cop in Ace Ventura too. Okay. Tone Loc has so many different talents.
I'm not saying the man does not have talent.
Oh, I know.
I mean, he made a lot of money off of recording a song in the closet. So,
and he's Jim Carrey's friend, without a doubt.
Most likely.
I put the pouch in, but now I have to spit. I forgot. I'll be right on.
Fair enough. So what I was going to say is...
this is autism. That's what my autism button is.
It's all good. Sometimes the show goes off the rails, and that's okay. What I was going to say is, reading your bios, you had basically demoed everything out, and you you were very intuitive about what you wrote because it tied back to some of their emotional feelings. And when you packed your bag to go record, you know, you were prepared to stay, even though they weren't expecting you to stay. So was that
Correct.
just something in your gut that said, this is the real deal and this is where I'm going to go and this is the right fit?
Originally the first song was like no pressure. If they hear it, that would be cool. If they love it and want me to come out, that would be even cooler. And that alone, like, would have been awesome. But when we originally talked, it was like the second or first day they had announced this, tryout thing, or not tryout, just like submissions. So they couldn't promise that I'd go, but there was kind of there was an excitement in Mark and Casey when I talked to them off the bat on day one that I knew that something was going to happen with it, because they had some other songs, and they weren't really demos. They were professionally recorded songs without singers.
Yeah.
That they weren't mixed yet, so in that sense, they were demos. But they sent me more material just in case somebody else wrote something that they liked better for the first song. So I just wrote to all of it because that's fun. I mean, why not?
Hmm.
I, I
But
I think originally it was going to be just an instrumental album called simply Mark and Ed. But then we found Mike, and Mike saved us from naming the album that. Simply Mark and
Simply
Ed.
Dusty. Yeah,
Exactly. Got you, bro.
So, I
That's
mean,
funny.
in the world of AI, did you think of it being a big risk to put your music out there for people to demo, for people to write along to
No,
and make it their own?
no.
No, because I think you get a sense of what's real and what's AI, and like no matter what you try to do, it's going to happen. Just like back in the old days when you're like, gotta be careful of the record. We can't let it leak. It's going to leak. You know what I mean? So either or, someone's going to do something shitty with AI, but there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm not worried about it. No.
Because I mean, I
It's
know.
pretty easy, I feel like, to tell, especially when, music is being made. AI does a pretty good job at finding the genre and making its own song to it. But there's
Yeah.
something in there that is pretty clear
Yeah.
that the
No soul.
feeling, the soul, the human soul that creates is not there. So,
Yep.
when people say AI this, AI fucking that, kind of like, or accuse with AI, it's so silly. And man,
Yeah.
I don't let, but yeah, I mean, you could tell, can't you? I mean,
Pretty much. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's a lack of passion in it. And the reason I guess I brought it up is because this week has been the hot button that a lot of artists have gone onto
Yeah.
these search sites and found their music has been stolen to train AI.
Yeah.
And the same thing has happened with authors. I mean, we had that big blow up for the author world not too long ago. And we're dealing with the outcome and we're dealing with constantly fighting about AI. And AI has gotten better at writing, but there
Yeah.
are still certain things. And that's the hard part about it is like we all want to be creative. You're creative. All of you guys are creative. But it's like here we want to assign a machine to make somebody who just says, "Oh, I want to make a song." Because I think
Yeah.
here's the key point to this. I think most of the people that experiment with AI is, and this I'm sure you guys are going to laugh, but the people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to make a hit single or I'm going to write a book." They think they're going to get this overnight success and make a big cash grab, but let's be honest, folks, most creatives are not rolling in dough. You know?
No.
So there's this misguided thing about using it and blowing their career up.
there's a there's a fear that it's going to take over that, kind of triggers all of us, but you can't take away life experiences
Mm-mm.
that build what something is. You could try to imitate an artist, but you're not going to get their entire life story unless it's that deep of an AI where it's like learning everything about someone. But I kind of take it as like there's new programs out there where you could be like, how do I get this tone, this exact tone? And you could basically get told exactly what something is and have it instantly. But it doesn't make you a better player to have
Nope.
that. It doesn't make you be able to play like the person who wrote that, who was in that moment. And
Yep.
sometimes, having limited options is better for creativity. It forces you to work with what you have. Like like if I'm looking at Netflix and Amazon Prime and HBO Max and Paramount and every one of these things to watch a show or a movie, I will spend an hour trying to figure out something. But if I look at my movie collection of like 100 movies, I'll pick something out in a couple minutes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
creativity is not inspired by a million options.
No.
Um, and for the fans that are afraid of AI takeovers, go to shows,
Yeah.
go see bands live, go see the passion that they have for what they're doing. And if it's
And
fake,
also,
you'll
yeah,
know instantly because we're humans. But
I think the shows, the concerts and the festivals need to be a real thing now because I think that will save music too from the whole AI thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Unless they start having AI shows and they do that digital, where they have the fake, like when they did with Tupac and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Like that's weird and scary. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and you know what? I see right now you're in outer space. What are you doing in outer space?
I don't know how to get it off. I
he
don't
Wait,
know how
doesn't
to
know
get
how
it
to
off.
get down.
You're not fooling
No,
anybody. We see you.
I
You're in
can't.
and I
outer
have
space
the
right
Big
now.
Bang,
Listen, I'm a
Illuminati.
fucking.
rock, paper, lizard, Spock cup.
Oh,
So
I'm
Illuminati. Oh, whoops.
sorry. Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Is that better?
I thought you were in outer
Is that
space.
oh,
better?
you
All the
nice,
Is that
nice.
better with all the awards
Oh
and
yeah.
this and that? Okay. I like space. I want the aliens to come already. I'm getting bored.
They're here, man.
They
Yeah,
are.
I
You
know they're
just
here.
don't
I
know
know they're
it.
here. Anyway,
Anyway,
so
so
hey, when you guys are talking about all that technology stuff and about like, oh, you guys are gonna record over line online, and I was thinking in my head, shit, my first demo I did on a 4-track in the late '80s. Man, we did drums, bass, guitar, and vocals on
there's
a
nothing
four
wrong
track,
with
and it
that,
sounded
though.
awesome. Yeah, it sounded awesome. I
I mean,
missed that.
I laugh because now we're having a big resurgence of cassette tapes and vinyl,
Yeah,
and I have a whole two milk cartons or milk crates
yeah,
of cassettes.
Well, guess what?
yeah.
Yes.
Guess what?
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 We, the band Me, has a really cool place where you can go and you can get our cassette
Nice.
and you can
Like a
order it.
country green, right?
Yeah.
I
And
can't wait.
yeah,
I haven't seen it.
this
I haven't seen it in person yet, but I'm excited about it.
I have not either. And um, I would like to talk about how we have really cool vinyl, really cool compact discs, and really cool tapes.
Yep.
And
That's awesome.
yeah,
And
Yes, we do.
what made you decide to release it on all three forms?
I mean, there's
Oh,
stats showing that there's a resurgence in these things.
yeah.
But with kids now or the last couple generations that have never experienced owning tangible art from their favorite artists because of things like Spotify and Apple Music. I'm not knocking those platforms, but the industry is constantly changing. And these kids want things like we had when we were kids. And
if you
they
like
haven't
it
had
enough.
that. And the only option lately has been vinyl. And
Yep.
if I'm 15, maybe I have a vinyl collection, but like I want something a little more compact, maybe, or something maybe a little more affordable.
Okay, I grew up in the 80s, and yes, I had my vinyl and I also had my cassette. And if I didn't want, I would tape it off the
Remember when
radio if I
discs
could.
came out?
Oh,
You remember
yes.
when compact disc came out? How
Yes.
pissed we were. Like in
Yes.
the '80s, I was like, "This ain't punk rock or whatever." And then I was like, I talked so much shit, and then the next, I had a big CD collection.
Uh,
Um,
and
I
my,
When
like to pay attention
CDs
a
came
lot.
out, when
Yeah,
CDs
yeah.
came
When
out, I
CDs came
remember
out, that's what I
thinking,
meant.
this is it.
Yeah,
well,
There's nothing
yeah,
else.
when
What
my,
else could they possibly do?
Mini
I,
disc.
when, yeah,
mini
my,
disc.
I actually, I still have my husband's mini disc player that he bought one, and yeah. Um,
So
but
I like to pay attention to my kids and what they're into. And like my son and my daughter are at that age, 18 and 20, where like everything is '90s. So they want tapes. They want records. They want, like, that's a big resurgence. And like when my son walks in with his friends, I feel like it's a flashback to 1995 with my friends. The way he's dressed, the way he looks, and the music they're listening to. So I think the whole vinyl and tape thing is so awesome that we're doing it. Like, I'm really stoked about that.
Well, and when you think about it, back in the day, you had not only you had the original single, which you had an A and a B side, and then you had
Yeah, A
the
and a B
cassette
side.
single. You
Yeah,
know, we can, and then we tried to do the compact disc single, which I don't think went over very well. But
yeah.
I mean,
I have Faith No More, their cover of Easy.
mhm.
I have that
That's
on a compact
awesome.
disc still. I still have Garage Days, the original Garage Days on compact disc.
On compact, yeah.
I have a Goldfinger single. I have a Duran Duran box set of singles,
Wow.
That's
which is like
yo.
30
I want
discs
that.
of the same song released in different countries. And it's
That's
just
awesome.
maybe one little thing is a little different, but it's the same song. It's
Dude, I remember that. I
I
remember
don't
having
understand
like
why people want it, but
Oh my God. Totally called her out.
hell yeah.
I've met everybody except for Andy. I've met Warren. I've met them all. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, when
I
you
would love to
called,
meet Andy. That's
I
who
would
I'd love to
too.
meet.
I would too.
I hear cool stories about him,
The
about like
closest
other musicians that talked about him.
closest I've ever gotten to meeting him was watching him get drunk at a bar and talk to somebody that wasn't there. So
That's an experience in its
so
own.
we've all done it a time or two.
Yeah.
of course, we've also time traveled, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, anyway, so I guess what do you have plans on bringing this to life to do live shows? I mean, I know
Yes.
that there is the big travel contingency here because you all live in different places. What is that going to be like for you? Are you planning doing festivals, smaller venues? What is your idea of an ideal me show?
I
Well,
mean, for me personally, that's what you just said. For me personally, small shows, festivals, whatever. I'm just worried about the traveling situation, like the way the country is now, and how you have to get a real ID, and now we have to get all new. You know what I mean? Like the traveling situation for me, it's going to be difficult for us. But I think what you said, like I can't wait to play the smaller, hyped up shows and the festivals. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody off.
well, we have our first show,
Yeah,
which is
we do.
on the album release is the 24th, and the show is the 23rd of July. So that's our first show.
And this comes out July.
Talking about it now. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering, like, when are we saying something about this?
I just went ahead and did it. I didn't know.
Whoops.
That's
Great.
Yeah.
Out there.
But so then also now I guess like we're learning, because back in the day we taking back Sunday and tell your friends getting big and all that. Like we went and we did it in a van and Ed booked tours and it was a different world. So
Oh, yeah.
now we're coming at it at this whole nother thing where streaming is everything. And and it's crazy because you can see like the analytics are immediate.
Yeah.
And
You get those metrics. You're not guessing if you're big in this city or that city. You can see, oh, there's traction here. We need to feed that traction. So
yeah.
and we won't really have any of that until after the album's out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the smaller shows to get our feet wet, because we're just dying to play.
Yeah.
Those are gonna happen.
Yeah.
We should go set up in some busy city and busk the whole band, like together, just play live on the street.
Mm.
I actually had a musician say that that's what he wanted to do for this summer. He
Yeah.
wanted to just get on the back of a truck and play in England. So
Yeah, go busking.
the only problem is you used to be able to do that. Nowadays, I'm not sure you wouldn't get in trouble.
That's,
It's a
yeah,
lot
I mean,
more red tape.
a lot of TikTokers.
I guess it depends on how good the song is.
True.
Yeah.
You know, American, what was that band, Mark? They had those hit songs. They're nice guys. We toured with them. Not American Nightmare, something America. They had the pop song.
All American Rejects.
All
I was
American
thinking
Rejects.
that was
So All
them.
American Rejects just did that whole tour where they played backyards and like they had people do this contest. So whoever won, they went and played. So they played backyard pool parties. Like I watched the shows.
Mhm.
They played
It's
front yards. Like it was insane. I can't
That
believe they did
deeper than
that.
that. They've created a whole
Yeah,
platform for artists to sign up and to connect with fans to be
that's
like, hey,
awesome.
we need to be able to have this many people. Can you host? And they're picking,
Yeah,
them play old VFW halls, backyards.
yeah, yeah.
Shit's so cool. I'm
Yeah.
It is
Clint,
so
great.
cool, and it's so old school, the way it should be. To do that once in a while, it's fun.
Clem Snide does living room shows for his
Oh,
fans.
that's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
instead of really playing a lot of, he was doing a couple of theaters, but he does a lot of let me come to your house and play in your house for a party.
Right.
Yeah.
So
What the Deer Hunter? I know the Deer Hunter does that. Matthew Logan Vasquez of Delta Spirit does that. And,
Yeah.
like some tours are real tours and venues. Not to say these aren't real, but like they're fan submissions of where to play. And
mhm.
like, all right, let's make sure that we can, safely have this show go on and not have the
Right.
cops called and stuff like that. But
I'm gonna ask.
I remember going to see Jeremy Ennick's solo stuff in libraries. He was doing a library tour, and he was doing The Frog Queen. It's this album he put out, and it was so cool. It was like 200 people sitting on their, Indian style, like kids, watching this guy play in a library. It was
better
fun.
be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm gonna ask each of you, what is your favorite song on the album? Mark, we'll go first with you.
Right now, I'm definitely the most excited about Grown Man. It's out, and I guess that's really, just having people, just knowing that it's out there for people to hear. Because I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about the whole album, but like, I don't know. I guess having the album, right, and then hearing it and being excited, and then knowing that it's out and getting to listen to it, I guess kind of like pretending like I'm not in the band and I'm hearing it for the first time is really exciting. So Grown Man.
Okay. Edward.
Oh, I like them all.
Talking like a true musician.
Sorry, you ain't gonna change me.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's really not a lazy answer though.
Yeah,
We're
I know.
really proud of this album and we like all of it. Ed said the other day that it's something that I do. He'll listen to the last three songs on repeat and then he'll go back to the beginning of the record and listen to the first half
Yeah.
on repeat. And I do that too. So like every day
I
it's
do that.
a different song is the one that I'm obsessed with for a little bit. And there's not one that I don't like.
What is it today? What's your number one today?
Today, I mean, it's Grown Man has been like, I've been waiting for this to come out for so long, and I knew that Grown Man was going to show a bit, a bit more honesty and like the scared aspect of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I'm still really excited that that song's out. I can't wait until the album comes out and people can hear the intro of the record go into this sick snare drum roll that Mark does that it just kind of says like, we're here, we mean business.
Yeah, it does.
Comes in honestly and then it gets in your face right away. And I want people to go, "Ugh, yes. What is this?" Waiting for
the
this.
only reason. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's all I got.
The only reason why I'm so like that, like I can't choose, that's a dad thing because my dad taught me to never choose a kid more than the other. Anyway, but for me, it was like sitting in the car with my wife, listening to the album from beginning to end without talking, timing it, doing that whole gotta listen to this, gotta listen to this, sorry, let's turn up the bass, blah, 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 doing all that from listening to the beginning to end. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I was a part of that, and I like every song. I can't choose a song, and that's just the truth. And for me, it's the first time for me because when I was in my other bands, yeah, we put out great records, but it wasn't from beginning to end for me. There was like two I could do without. There was one I could do without. I can't do without any songs. I'm even learning how to play the acoustic song perfect from Mike so that I can play it with them all the time live. You know what I mean? And before, I never felt that way. I didn't give a shit, And now I'm like, wow, this is special. This was placed here for a reason, and I'm not gonna fuck with it. And I'm gonna follow my gut instinct and what my brain is telling me, and just flow with it, man. That's where I'm going with. So that's why I like every song.
Well, and I wasn't trying to bust your balls because here's the fact of the matter.
No, no, you're
When
fine.
somebody
Yeah,
asks me, when the tables are turned and I'm being interviewed, they're like, "So who's your favorite
yeah,
character?" Uh, I like all my
yeah.
characters. I mean, so
Right, right. Yeah.
I know the feeling. I don't have a favorite, so I understand. I do want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about Grown Man though, because there was, the lyric of
Yep.
energy surrounds me. You're my everything. So when you're talking about energy, are you talking like a metaphysical energy, or are you just talking energy like a vibe?
Fart.
Um,
Did you say fart?
Yeah, I'm
No,
sorry.
I want to say this. You can get kicked out of
Sorry,
Disney
Mike.
World. You can apparently get kicked out of Disney World if you fart.
I know.
Okay, so
really?
anyway, yes, they now have infrared cameras to see if you're farting.
Who's farting?
Yes, and wait,
I had never gone.
the first offense you get warned. The second offense you're banned for like 5 days. By the fourth time you're completely gone from Disney World forever.
I have a new goal in life. I
I'd
can,
be
I
kicked
can,
out.
I can do this.
I told you this
I
conversation would
can
go
totally
into
do this. But okay.
it. How do we follow back into a song after that?
But back so the energy I was talking about is you could date someone and have a good feeling, and then there's when you really connect with someone like on a deeper level that you can't shake it anymore,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and that's kind of the energy I'm talking about.
Okay.
Not just like excitement, but more of a I don't know, aura or there's a glow, to it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You you don't feel separate from the person anymore.
Exactly.
Well, and
Um,
go ahead.
yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, and here's the thing: you kind of when you were putting your lyrics together and your demo together for them, you kind of knew this could be something big. You kind of, I mean, from what I read, it sounded like you already knew. And if you knew, that's
Not
kind of
this.
that, but that's kind of the energy, though. You can have the energy of
Um,
knowing.
I
Yo,
didn't.
sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, go for it. I'll come in after.
Like, if you have to, like, if I don't know exactly what you mean, but in my mind, like, there's ways to manifest
Hmm.
through knowing,
Hmm.
because you if you see it, you visualize it, and then you don't even allow for another outcome. That's how you make shit like this happen. And yeah, like, because you have to know. It's almost, you have to be delusional a little bit. Like, you gotta
Totally.
be a little bit delusional to be able to last this long, to be in a band ever that makes it. And then even I'm 45. Mike's 40 and Ed's 53, right? I don't know. And
Boo
No,
hoo.
I can tell
There,
you how
yeah,
old I
like,
am, and you're gonna. I'm older than all of you. So anyway,
but you gotta, like, sometimes, even if you don't know, because there's no actual monetary value yet, you still have to know.
hmm you have to
there.
believe.
So, like when they sent me the other songs, and I was just writing to it for fun. Still, there was a point where I went, "Huh, like this all fits together pretty well." And there were definitely changes between the demos and the finished product, but th that song was like I had spent a month writing everything else. And that song was one that I knew I wanted to write, but I held off on. And the day before I flew out, I wrote it
Okay.
quickly. And then I demoed it and it didn't line up. Like the demo tempo didn't line up properly. So it didn't sound great. And I was on my way to work, put it in I put it on my phone and it wasn't lined up. And I went, it doesn't matter. Why are you overthinking everything? But like I did my homework, I showed up prepared till the last day writing. So when I got there and they didn't have any interest in hearing the stuff that I had off the bat, because I'm like this new guy that they don't know, singing one song. I was sitting with the guitar and it was the last thing I wrote. So it was the last thing I remember working on. And I didn't really know how to play any of them past, like, I would write the idea and then I'd move on to the next song, and I would write the idea and I like forgot what I was playing. But I remembered a finger picking version of Grown Man and started playing it in front of Ed. And he was like, that sounds like my riff. And then I said, it is your riff. And then I started singing what I had over it. And he goes, oh, that's what I've been hearing in my head. And he said, you got to record this on your phone real quick. And I said, oh, I have it.
Yeah.
But, it screws up by the second chorus. And I pushed play and he ripped the phone out of my hand and ran out of the room. And then,
He got me.
that's when they started talking and looking at me like,
Yeah. Ed grabbed whatever the phone and he ran outside where I was like, come inside and listen to this right now. And then I was like, yeah, I'll be right there. And he's like, no, put the cigarette out and come inside right now. And I was like, oh, okay. And I did. And then Mike played Grown Man on the acoustic and then sang his idea. And it was beautiful. It was
Yeah.
really, really pretty, like jaw-droppingly good. And yeah, that's really right then and there was the shift to, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah.
maybe it's not one song.
Maybe it's not one song.
Maybe
This
it's not
dude's
one
staying
song.
here. Yeah, this dude's sticking around forever.
I think
Yeah,
I looked
but-
over Mark's shoulder and I went, okay, we're going to keep him around.
Yeah.
I did half of a third song and was about to start a fourth song, and then I was like, what am I doing here? Am I writing half of a record, or are we like putting out an EP, or because I needed to know where to shift my focus. Right. And there's a lot of pressure to work on something on the spot with people you don't know in that studio, which was so amazing. Like a good pressure, but living in limbo of whether or not I was going to continue working on stuff or not. It was nice to get more of all right, let's see what happens. We're comfortable seeing what happens.
Everybody's put everything on the line for this band.
Yeah.
Everybody, not just everybody in the band, but Casey, our manager, Neil and his family, Neil, our bass player, and his family, like everybody involved has really put themselves, like really dropped everything, because it's that special. Like when something is when you just know it and everybody knows it, like there you go. Everybody just, we don't know if it's going to turn into money still. Like we don't know what comes in the future, but we know that this is so special that in my mind, I am saying out loud, like I was told, like, maybe don't say that we're going to be the biggest band in the world anymore to people out loud. But like when I have said that in the past, I have meant it in a way of like, I am so excited. It's another way for me to say I'm so excited about this new band that I'm lucky enough to be a part of, that I want everybody to hear it so badly. I want it to be July 24th. I want it to be the show. I want to play that show. We're going to play so good, because also I want to say that when we practice, it's immediately good. Like this has been such a hard process to get together up until right now. And like, we're finally starting to feel like, oh man, people are liking it. But throughout this entire time, no one knew anything. But we do know one thing is that when we play music together in a room, is really, really, really special. It sounds so big, and it's only 4 guys in a room, and it's really, we're gonna play live and we're gonna do it well, and we're all excited for it. That's what I'm trying to say.
You vibe off of each other, and that's important, that you can vibe off of each other.
Yeah.
So the astronaut show.
Is she stuck?
What?
You there?
I'm here.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
I'm
okay,
here. My
okay.
Hear us?
internet, no, my internet connection is unstable, and this is called the weather in Chicago.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I heard everything you said, so we're good.
Awesome.
Okay,
Um,
good.
the astronaut show. That sounds like, listening to some of the lyrics there sounds like a little bit of a take on the corporate music industry. Is that correct?
Um,
If
so
not, it's okay. Just that was my
no, so
interpretation.
originally the chorus I had written like the second day I was at the studio with everybody, and I sang it different to different chords. Um, but that song was very hard for me to write. I mean, I sat for 6 months with no ideas of what to do with it, none. And the Chris Bittner, the producer, we were kind of at a crossroads. We either had to work on this song, The Astronaut Show, before it was named that, or work on another song that we still needed to flesh out some guitar and then write vocals for. But it was a better option to work on the song that was finished because it sounded great and it just needed
Right.
me to do what I'm supposed to do on it. Um, but there was Ed likes to have on CNN or UFO stuff on the TV in the studio all the time. So that kind of bleeds into the record in some spots. But the astronaut show started for me with I saw an article about influencers getting paid. There was like an $8 million budget that ICE had for influencers to, to help the narration of what was going on in the US. And living in Chicago at that time, it was like scary here. And it wasn't happening anywhere else yet. It wasn't happening in Minneapolis or in New York or, anywhere. So
Right.
I was scared, but it wasn't being talked about anywhere. And then I find that this budget's being put in place to kind of guide what's going on. It really made me angry. So the money parts of that was kind of calling out corruption in media. But I don't want to go that far with it in the direction of the band. It just in the moment, it was really frustrating. Um, and yeah, our current political system is broken.
Hmm.
That's kind of what it's about.
Okay.
Um, I don't
And
support
that's
it.
great
And when
because
we
that's
need
punk
we
rock
need
as fuck.
change, and we really need people to not instead of being angry, like find things that they can do to be positive and fix things. But the song doesn't really go there. It just says that there's a problem.
Well,
Um,
the thing is, with social media, as you were talking about, I mean, yes, you do have the people that are paid influencers, and we create a narrative. And the one thing that most people don't look at is we have this whole narrative of the manosphere now versus whatever. And the manosphere is very toxic. Does a lot of toxic masculinity and hate. And if you, I mean, we're all of, at least of a reasonable age, that if somebody would have told you to take a hammer and smash your face to get it to look a certain way, you would have thought they were effing nuts.
mhm.
Yeah.
It goes back to my mother would tell me, if somebody said jump off a bridge, are you going to do it?
Yeah.
But in a roundabout
Right.
way, that's what we have become as a society as a whole.
Yeah.
Somebody says, oh, this is the best thing ever. I got to go buy it. And then 6 months from now, it's in a thrift store because you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, while the hype is great, and I hope you get a lot of hype for the record, you also understand that it is kind of the money game, the money of here. We're going to make you not like people because now we're on social media and we're being paid to tell you to not like people with the ICE
Yeah.
budget. So it's a really weird world we live in.
It's so
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It really it is a wild place, man.
I was saying the other day actually how colors are different. All cars look mundane, all houses look mundane, and it's starting to become like it's just how they control you. And now they're going to do it through music now. They're going to make it dull. And they're going to, again, with the AI crap. And
Who?
it's just scary. And I'm just,
I'm
I
not.
hope the
We're
music
not.
stays alive.
Gary.
I hope the music stays alive, you know? That's what I'm saying.
Well, and that's the thing.
And
If
I hope
you're
the lyrics, I hope Mike's lyrics get through to people and they can make it their own scenario, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, if you listen to people like if you go back and to listen to, I forget which the record it is still timely today. The lyrics are still, they still fit the narrative of what's going on in the world today, which is
Yeah.
crazy, and it's sad that we have not progressed as much as we'd like to think we
Nope.
have.
Nope.
But I know
Yeah.
you guys didn't come on here to talk about politics, so I won't go there too much with you.
You know, I stopped watching politics
Hmm.
just because I couldn't, you know,
It's,
everybody's got a
yeah.
gun.
Yep.
Hmm.
So now my mind is like, well, everybody's got a gun. So if I just get a gun.
I mean, I went
You know
through
what I mean?
I went through a cancer battle last year, and I remember actually thinking, what is the point of fighting it if the world's going to crap?
What, the
S-
gun?
Hey, you're here.
The
Well,
cancer.
the
Oh my
cancer,
God.
yeah.
Fight
You're
the
here.
cancer. Fight the
Yeah.
fight the cancer.
But at the
Yeah.
time, it was just kind of like if the world, I mean, because I have this one friend who's an intuitive, and she's like, yeah, we're going to have power outages, and we're going to have food shortages, and we're going to have all this. And I'm just like, so what the fuck is the point of this? Why am I fighting?
You know. Here's one thing:
But I did.
if you don't watch this shit, and you pay no attention
Hmm.
to the fear that they're selling on either side, and you
Hmm.
go outside, most of the time people are together.
Yeah.
Most of the
Yeah.
time people are trying to help each other out.
Hmm.
Most of the time people, like, at the end of the day, even if you don't know what side they're picking or whatever it is, most people want to help, if you get that garbage out, and
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, going back to the social media thing. If I tell you not to like this person, if I tell you to buy this thing, it's all about control of some form or fashion. If we can divide you based
Yeah.
on race, if we now can divide you based on sex, your sexual orientation, then who's winning? And
Yeah.
who we're not questioning anything else going on because we're so much embattled at each other, and even AI is part of that at this point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. So the other song that I liked a lot was Big Smiles. So
Wow.
what was Big Smiles about?
Um, so Big Smiles, we had one last week in the studio. I showed up the night before everybody else was getting there, and the producer Chris was showing me some stuff that he'd worked on where it was like some, crazy jazz ensembles, and it just sounded so big. And he was like,
Yeah.
a lot of it was just one microphone in the room, and we didn't have anything that raw on the record. And I thought I just felt something inside of me that was like, I could do something with this. I would love to sit in a room and just play an acoustic song, because before this band, I've been playing on my own for the last decade. Um, I knew I could come up with something, and just sitting there, I was I was thinking about, the night before I left, I was sad to go to bed because I knew I'd wake up and have to leave my wife and come to New York. Not like I wasn't going to be sad the whole time, but I didn't want to leave. I want her to be with me, but it wasn't the time. So I just wrote about that feeling of, sometimes you have to go do things, but I'm just gonna miss you a lot. And so I spit out an idea and was recording my phone and was like, that's pretty cool. And then the next morning, demoed it in the room, and that was it. I told Ed that I had an acoustic idea, and then he said, "All right." And he went in the room and he said, "Chris, Mike's going to record an acoustic song sometime this week
Yeah.
when we don't know what to do. And Chris said, great. And then, we got to a point where we had finished the songs that we were prepared to do when we got there. We hadn't written the astronaut show yet, and I was still stressing about that. But I'm like, well, we have this thing, and we need a 10-song album. So I have this idea. And then I did it, and then it was like and then what? It's like, well, let Eddie play some resonating chords over the top of it, and Chris, who's playing, keys on a lot of the record, said, add some cool stuff. Just do something. And they did it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it. And the final part of it was, getting Mark's blessing, and he walked in and he goes, this is amazing, and then we got to move on to finishing the record with a little bit less stress. I mean, everything's a time crunch. But the last day, and we're still spitting stuff out at the last second. The intro, I lied and I said I had an idea at 9:30 at night on the last day. We're done with the album. I said I have an intro, and then they went, okay, let's do it. And I played one chord, and I wrote a poem, and then I went and I sang the poem in a room, and then I did the same thing I did with Big Smiles. I said, Ed, play something. Mark's like, can I play cymbals? I'm like, yes, but don't give away too much because you come in with that awesome snare. Like, don't give away what you're gonna do. So tasteful. Everything was tasteful and a swell, and that's just kind of, at that point there was trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone wasn't in the room, we were doing stuff that benefited the whole project. And so to be able to just be like, I got something, let's do it. And we were able to do it.
When you're surrounded by talent and like you have ideas like you did, why not work on it? Why not push it, man? Shit, you know what I mean? So like it worked. It just worked and it sounded great. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry, man.
No, I'll come back. I'm not.
Okay. So what got you, Mark and Eddie, or Edward, what got both of you back together to finally say we need to start creating music again?
Well, first of all, you keep calling me Edward. My mom is the only woman who calls me Edward.
Well, your little thing says Edward.
You're scaring me. No, I know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. For me and Mark to get back together, start jamming. I mean, Mark was talking to my son because my son always had a thing about Mark, and my son said, "Hey, Dad, give Mark a call," and I did, and we're here today. And it was good. There was some ups and downs, and there was some great times. Yeah.
Well, so through the years, I kept up with Jonas. Like we'd write, "Merry Christmas. How you doing? Just sending love, shout out, blah, 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 everything. Hope everything's good." So then when Jonas found out that I was not in Taking Back Sunday anymore, he was like, "You need to hit up my dad." But at the same time, I started talking with Casey, our manager, and she really was like, "We need to make this, you need to make that thing with Ed happen." Like, as a Taking Back Sunday fan, like everybody wants to see this happen, like, and you should. And man, it was difficult, and that was really the beginning. Like he came to Long Island, we went to a basement studio for 2 days, and we had the songs that are now Bloodsport and Violent People within the first 2 days. Everybody was so excited. Jonas, Casey, everyone that we showed it to without vocals was like, "Oh my God." Like that's that shit. And then next thing we know, like Casey used to work with the band The Sleeping a long time ago, and she got in touch with Sal from The Sleeping and said, "Do you know anybody that's around that might want to possibly record?" And then Sal was like, "I'm in the band," he's in this band, The Held now, or just Held. And they were recording with Chris Bittner. And then we got Chris Bittner and Michael Birnbaum at Applehead, and then we went there, and that's what we. I got to show you this.
What are you going to show us?
He
Hold
went
on.
to go
It's
get
really
it.
He's showing us that he could run.
no. This is a picture hanging up, right?
Hmm.
And this is right before we knew. This is the last day on the session before we met Mike.
I
Yeah.
was like, I don't
And
remember
then
that.
so it's crazy to see this and then think, holy shit, I didn't even know who Mike Jensen was at this moment. And then
Right.
this man came into our lives and fucking, that's why we're gonna have a shirt that says thank God for Mike Jensen.
Nice. Very nice. So I do have one question, and I know it's a question that most likely every interview you get asked, but it is a question that's valid. So why the name? And it's surprising that nobody's ever
Uh,
taken that name before.
well,
But it's simply
Oh,
Mark
they
and
have.
Ed.
yeah, just Mark and Ed. Also, for me, it was I just remembered a pin I found in a vintage store that said "me" with a
Hmm.
thumbs up, and it says confidence. And it just thought of me like Mark and Ed. I mean, it just makes sense. Me, it's our
Hmm.
time to get to do what we want to do without people telling you can't. It's about us. It's about us finding ourselves and putting out a good record. So why not make it about us? Make it about me. Make it about Mark. Make it about Mike. You know, make it about yourself. So it means a lot. The name me. You know.
And so that's a
And you
simple
could also
answer.
use it in a lot of jokes, you know.
True.
It
You could
definitely
use it in a
confuses
lot
a
of
lot of
ways, you know.
conversations.
True.
Yeah.
Huh?
And just all good things too. It's just left at
Yeah,
all good
yeah,
things. You know what I mean? It leaves it so open
yep,
for positive, which
Eh,
is
yeah.
really
And I used to
this
hear
is
that a lot.
let me say that one
I,
last thing. Like
sorry.
with Eddie and I coming together
Yeah,
and like getting through all the things that we've had to get through, and just um just the point was to make a positive and free creative space for ourselves, like because we
yep.
deserve that. And then I feel like we're doing like this band,
You
me,
think?
in the way that we treat each other and the way that we respect each other musically. It's really, I'm not saying that we haven't had arguments about different things, including music, while we're writing it together. But man, like it's a really beautiful like culture that we have within ourselves and a positive place to be. And that is the most important thing,
Yeah,
really
and
making
like
yourself
yeah,
happy.
and no one is yeah. And
Sorry, go
the
ahead.
way I look at it is, and the way I treat it, and the Mark's absolutely right. Like I look at it as like no one's better than anybody. We just need to be brothers and respect each other's art and put it together and make one giant piece of art. And that's the way I look at it. Like, there's no reason why I need to be telling people what to do or yada yada, you know? So that's what I love about the band is that, yeah, there's been some arguments, but it's just brotherly arguments and egos, and that goes away. And we're able to do that. And it's easier to like for me pressure wise and stress wise on writing music because I'm not stressed out and worried about what people are going to say to me because I know Mark will be like or Mike will be like yeah that's dope or do this you know and I'm okay with that you know and it's easier for me to be able to write music and jam with these guys you know and I like the attitude we have you know
You
so
know what? Mike and I were talking one day, and there was a misunderstanding. I don't even know what it was, but we were talking it out, and then we came to the conclusion, like, you and I, like, we all have a baby. We have this baby together. The baby's called me, and the baby's album is called All Good Things. Like, so we had to co-parent through this baby, and you're not gonna fight in front of your baby. You're not gonna put your baby at risk. You're going to coddle it. You're going to care for it. You're going to protect it. And that's really kind of what we've been doing. And it's
yeah
really cool.
Well, I mean,
yeah
I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize about bands is it's like a marriage, it's like a family. You have to have those dynamics in there. And if a band ever were to say, there's no fights, I would say bullshit because you're human.
There are fights.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you're gonna have those disagreements, and you're gonna have to push that energy through to negotiate things. As long as you're
Yeah.
not turning into Perry Farrell on stage and clocking Dave Navarro, everything's good. But as long as you can maintain a certain level
Actually,
of
one
decorum.
time Mark did throw a snare drum at me. One time Mark did throw a snare drum at me.
Hey,
Remember
hey,
that,
we were
Mark?
kid. I was
I know.
But I
20.
was
I
going to
I was
know.
say,
20.
I was going to say that the other thing is with maturity, we can take criticism and direction much easier for the most part than when we're in our
Very true.
20s, because otherwise in your
Yeah.
20s, you're like, go fuck yourself and you walk off, whatever. But
I, I
You
think
know,
when I got in my 50s, and going to rehabs and my sponsors, that's also where I got this. That's where the saying "all good things" for me comes from. Is a lot of my sponsors and or like at the meetings, they're like the better you make your life fall in place, everything becomes all good things. Your family comes back, your life comes back, money comes back. When you focus on yourself, everything all comes back and it's all good things. So that was something I threw out there and it stuck. But what were we talking about? Damn it, I was going to say something good and I forgot. Sorry.
I was
I'll
talking
remember in
about
a
that was
second. Go
family.
good.
ahead, Mark. Give a
I thought
good
that was
joke.
good.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, we're talking about family dynamics and the fact that as you get older, you can handle the criticism more.
Yeah. I think
Also,
in my
if you
50s,
love
I
something
learned,
enough, if you love something enough, you're gonna make
yeah,
sure. If you want a relationship to work, or you want forgiveness, or you want someone, whatever it is, you want some sort of relationship to work. It usually takes work,
Hmm.
and
yeah,
are you willing to put it in or no? It's
Exactly.
yeah.
really that simple.
Exactly. Whether it's
That's simple.
friendship or job, whatever, you have to do the work. And I'm not
Hmm.
meaning, I mean, yeah, at a job, you still have the family dynamic relationship of your coworkers. Do you get
Hmm.
along with
Yeah,
them, or you are, even if he's an asshole, you still have to do your job.
Hmm.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now that this wild ride is about over, is there anything that you would like to add? And I will go to each of you. Mark, is there anything you want to say before we end this conversation?
I'm really proud of this band. I'm really proud of this album. I'm really proud of everyone that's associated. Everyone's like the wives, the kids, the people at the syndicate, and rabies, and all the people that are backing it, man. There's people that are putting their time on to
Yeah.
help this get through to the other side. So it's really cool.
Eddie, is there
Right.
anything
I'm, is there anything,
that you want
I'm,
to
yeah,
add?
I'm not a very, I feel blessed, and I don't mean that in a religious way. I feel that in something is looking over me, like I don't know if it's my parents or what, but I'm very blessed to be surrounded by these these guys and writing this album, and it just feels like it's something that was meant to happen, and it's got to happen, and that's what I like. The whole idea. Am I answering the question right? I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to say. It's a free form question. Anything to add? It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good things, man. I mean, there's when you leave your ego at the door and you come in and we really truly treat each other that way and respect each other and respect our music, it's all good things and all the music's good, you know?
Hmm.
So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Mike,
Um, we talk about the equality of everything and respecting and loving each other, but and absolutely. But this project came into place because these two guys at a certain point stopped being able to express themselves as creatively as they wanted to, and nobody got in their way of writing the instrumentals that formed, the bones of this album. So you're going to get some nostalgia from this that is really cool without me trying to repeat their past. And I get to explore, a 90s alternative sound that I miss. So I'm just really excited for the record. It comes out a month from today.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when this comes out.
it's just a countdown from here,
Oh, cool.
the
Yeah.
countdown's a lot more real when it's exactly 1 month.
One
Oh,
month.
I'm
That's
excited.
wild.
I'm excited. We're all excited. And, you know,
Yeah.
and,
listen to the singles.
and you guys did nail the sound. It does very much have that 90s vibe. So I think you
Well, I
guys
mean, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
can I say
No,
one
go
more
ahead.
thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's like I needed to remind myself because my confidence was so destroyed that I needed to remind myself, like, whoa, dude, you've been doing this shit since the 80s. Half of these fucking people wouldn't be into what they're into if you didn't start half of those bands or other people influence. You know what I mean? So I had to like remind myself of that to get that confidence back to be able to do it again and not be scared to go out there again. I'm sorry, I had to get that off my
No,
chest.
you're fine. You're fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just blessed. And I'm just blessed. That's how I wanted to end what I was saying. I'm just blessed to have found these guys, to find Mike, and to have Mark back in my life, and to have Neil in my life because Neil is such a wonderful person, and I wish he was here. But you know, it's just the right thing, man. At the right time, let's flow with it. Let's all
Yeah.
jump in the canoe together and let's go.
That was good. That right there, right? It is a right. It just the energy worked and the timing is right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, the reason why that turned into such a wild ride when we talked about Disney is because of the fact that I recently had seen a video where they had infrared cameras monitoring if people farted, which, my response to one of my friends was, it's a natural body thing. Flatulence is normal. But apparently it'll get you kicked out. So, I mean, this is going to sound really weird, and I could have gone into it with them, but whose job is it to watch for the infrared to see if there's a little poof coming out of somebody's posterior? When you really think about it, it's kind of what do you do for a living? Oh, well, I work for Disney. Okay, well, that's good, but what do you do? I watch monitors all day to check for people farting. And how many people do they have doing this? Because Disney has a lot of parks. So it's too crazy to even think about. But let's I digress and let's get back to where we need to be. So when you listen to the record, I think that, if you want to harken back to being in that nostalgic field, I mean, it's new music and it's good music, but when you want to harken back to that vibe, it definitely is going to pull you back in time. And that's a wonderful thing. And yes, I could have explored with them a little bit about their history, but there's no need to because as we've talked about off camera, they've grown, they've matured, and even on camera we talked about that you get past those things. Something happens when you're in your 20s, in your 30s, you're not quite who you are when you're in your 40s and your 50s. The older you get, the less you care, and I'm not saying you don't care about people because you do, but you don't take criticism to heart. I mean, when I look back at my reaction to a review, and I haven't had any bad ones, knock on wood, but when I look back at reviews, I'm thinking if I were younger, how would I have handled this? And I might have given up writing because of it. I might not be doing this because it's an outside validation thing. And we've recently talked about outside validation on the podcast too. It's like you don't need to focus on outside validation. You need to do what makes you happy. And that's kind of the issue with social media. Besides the divide and conquer aspect of social media, we have the whole focusing on, oh, I got a like, I got the stats, this is awesome. And while as an artist and a creative, those stats help because you want to know that engagement. But it doesn't always translate. I can sit here and see that I've had 300 views on a video, or maybe more, and nobody's liked it, and it doesn't translate into a book sale. Now, I could allow that to stop me from doing what I do, but the fact of the matter is I can't. I can't do that. I have to keep going because that's what keeps me living. It's part of who I am. It's part of my passion. And if I don't keep going, then what? So anybody that's a creative knows that. They know that that's part of who they are. And I think that we all have to keep focusing on that, building the music and not let AI dictate who we are. Because I can sit here, somebody said, give me a story. While it may be awkward, I'm sure I could still come up with a story with dialogue and everything and just say it because it would call to me. So if you're creative, if you want to do music, do it. I mean, look at these guys. You know, take that chance. Mike took that chance. He looked at he listened to the demo or the instrumentals and he created something. And that creation led to something even bigger. So don't sit there and say, well, I shouldn't do that. Why not? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You fail. And if you fail, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you keep going. That is the main thing, is to keep going and keep doing. And I mean, there's been times with the podcast that I think, well, maybe I should quit because, you know, I have listeners, I have regular listeners, but there are times when I think, well, what's the point of this? But the point is, I get to have a conversation with people that I would never normally talk to because they're out of state, they're out of the country. I can't say they're out of the world, or are they? But the fact of the matter is, I get to do this. I get to put it out there. And from that, I get an experience. And I give you an experience. So next time you want to do something, take the risk. As long as it's not going to hurt somebody else, as long as it's not going to hurt you, take the risk. Be willing to take the risk. So, on that note, I'd like to thank Fast Susie for the intro and outro music. I would like to thank Eddie, Mark, and Mike for coming on the show. And definitely check out Me, the record, you know, all the good things. Check out the band if you can when they do start doing dates. And, you know, follow them on social media and follow them on the internet. It's the best way to keep up to date with anything and anyone. So, on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. No matter when you're listening, morning, noon, or night, I greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.